Hi guys, welcome back. Another week, another video. So it's the same agenda this week. I asked AI to pretend to be a professional, a young professional, and throw all its personal finance questions at me. So let's see what it has for me today. So the question is about credit cards versus store cards, and I'll pop it up right about now. So it reads, I keep getting calls for both. Which one is the safer evil if I just wanted to build a decent credit score to buy a car or a house later? So, as always, guys, I will answer this question from my own personal experience. Now, whilst I am a financial professional, I do work in the finance industry. I am not an authorized financial advisor. So please be aware of that. I answer these things from my own personal perspective. I do have an avid love for personal finance. So I decided to start this channel because I do hear questions like this from time to time. And I thought it'd be great to sort of create a space where I could have these discussions openly with people who are curious, who have similar questions like AI does. So I hope the video is beneficial and that you enjoy. When it comes to deciding between a store card and a credit card, both have their advantages and disadvantages. I have ventured down both of these roads before, and I would say that it definitely depends on what financial level you are starting from. I'll explain further. So, back then, being an 18, 19-year-old who was working towards graduating uni, I didn't have a steady income. I entertained odd weekend jobs here and there and relied heavily on my parents for everyday living. You can see how that wasn't necessarily like an ideal situation for a credit card. I wasn't exactly the perfect candidate for this. So, when it comes to being successful in securing a credit card, there are about six factors that the financial institutions consider. The first is a credit score, your credit score. It's based off of your history of paying bills back in time. In my case, this was a history I didn't have when I was younger because I had no credit profile just yet. I was living off my parents. The next factor is your net income, as in leftover cash after monthly expenses. In my case, what income? The odd 1,200 Rand that I was making randomly between months didn't necessarily qualify as a net income. The next factor is your debt to income ratio, which is the financial institution's way of checking that you have not taken out too much credit based off of your salary. So essentially, you're not in way over your head. So, once more, this didn't apply to me. Employment stability would be the next thing that these financial institutions would consider. I did not have a formal employment and I was not stable either. The next important factor is credit utilization. This is about checking if someone relies too heavily on their existing credit limits. So, once again, that did not apply in my case. And the last factor that they check for is account conduct. So the financial institution would review how you manage your account. So I managed my account very well, but it didn't necessarily, compared to the other factors, I don't think I would have had a high chance of securing a credit card. So considering all these criteria, I was scoring very low already, maybe a 1 out of 6, because as I had said earlier, I had an account, I conducted it well, but I think all in all, it wouldn't have accounted for much. Hence, I decided to go the route of a store card. So my strategy was that I aimed to be consistent with an informal weekend job that I had and some tutorial gigs that I had at the time, and I was able to secure a Edgar store card for, I think the limit was about 3,000 Rand or something like that. It was very small, but for someone who had never had a credit profile, it made such a huge positive impact on the options available to me. So I made sure to manage it well. I didn't spend the 3,000 Rand all in one go because this negatively would have affected my credit utilization. I always paid back in full every month whenever the statements came, because not doing so would then affect your actual credit score. And considering that I was earning a very small salary at the time, the credit limit of 3,000 Rand was a substantial portion of my 5,000 Rand salary. So I made sure to spend very little of the 3,000 Rand. in order to keep my debt to income ratio low. Now, of course, going the store card route does not have to apply to you. If you have secured a more formal employment, you're earning a sufficient amount of money, and you've been earning that sufficient amount of money for some time. If this is you, you could apply directly to a financial institution that you choose for a credit card. But to answer the question, ultimately, I think what is the most important is building up a credit profile, regardless of whatever strategy you choose, because your financial behavior matters when wanting to access more money in the future for a car or a house, like our example says. And what gives a financial institution an idea of your financial behavior is that credit score. And as I said, a credit card or a store card can help you. So, whatever option or strategy you choose to go with, be it a credit card or a store card, just be sure to select with careful consideration. Don't apply for a credit limit you know you're going to struggle to pay back. The good news, though, is that under the NCA, the National Credit Act, that regulation protects you. It ensures that the bank won't give you a limit that exceeds what your discretionary income can handle. So, from a regulatory point of view, you are protected. But exercise further controls for yourself by ensuring that the limit offered or applied for does not exceed 1 to 2 times your monthly gross income and that you can afford the monthly repayments on your disposable income. So that brings us to the end of the video, you guys. I hope it was valuable. I hope you picked up something from this. If you have a similar question to AI or the exact same question, I hope this video was able to help you. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever you feel in the mood for. I'm appreciative. I'm grateful. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.